Hey guys, what's up? It's Andrew and it's time for my AP prep for AP Microeconomics, where we're going to be discussing elasticity. In case you're wondering, we're not talking about rubber bands. Elasticity from an economic standpoint is how responsive something is to changes. There are four types of elasticity that are asked on the AP exam. Those are price elasticity of demand, elasticity of supply, income elasticity of demand, and cross-price elasticity of demand. Speaking of income, am I getting paid for this? Alright, my boss has informed me I'm not getting paid for this. Now this video is all about price elasticity of demand. This is the most important elasticity, as it appears a lot in the AP exam. So are you taking notes? This shows how responsive the quantity demanded of a good is to price changes. Elasticity can be affected by substitutes, proportion of income spent on the good, time, and the importance of a good in society. Now, I'd like to warn you, you are about to hear a word that a large percentage of the population of learners do not like. Again, you have been warned. That word is formula. Even though this isn't math, there are still formulas that have to be known in microeconomics. The formula to calculate price elasticity of demand is percent change of quantity demanded divided by percent change in price. Despite being a formula with complete letters and absolutely no numbers, which seems to be the case in all math these days actually, now that I think about it, it's pretty simple to remember, and the information needed for it is usually given in the scenario that the examiners want to throw at you. To work the formula, you're simply going to increase or decrease in the amount of people that are buying or have stopped buying the product, and divide that by the change in price that caused it. Now that you know the formula and know how to get an answer, it's time to understand what it means. A nice thing to use to remember is this number line, seen here. Now this line shows a good explanation for answers that you could possibly get. If the answer that you get is between 0 and 1, it's going to be an inelastic good. And that doesn't mean it's not bendy. An inelastic good are goods that people have to have, so price changes don't affect demand that much. In other words, the demand technically isn't bendy. These goods are going to be necessities. Your gasoline, water, electricity, anything needed to conduct your life. On the other side of the line is going to be your elastic goods. These are your luxuries, or things that aren't needed by the people. Like sports cars, despite what car enthusiasts say. You don't actually need a sports car. Those are going to be luxuries. Two questions may come forth. One of them might be, what happens if your answer equals 1? Well, if your answer becomes 1, the answer is now a unit elastic good. Now these are going to be typically theoretical, as a good would have to be on the border of being a necessity and a luxury, which would be pretty difficult. And your second question might be, what happens if there's a negative number? Well, with the way that the formula works, you're going to get a negative number. It should be negative. Now the solution to this is what I do, is I simply just take the absolute value of the answer. That answer would then become a positive number, and you can continue on with the problem by using that number line that I had before. Now there are two more situations that have to be explained. Perfect situations. Alright, there are two situations that are possible in perfect scenarios, which are going to be perfectly inelastic, seen there, and perfectly elastic. Let's explain. With a perfectly inelastic demand curve, the good in question has to be a good that a person would buy, regardless of the price. For example, medicine for a severely ill person. On the opposite side, you've got a perfectly elastic demand curve, which is a good that people will buy for only one price. For example, say that wheat, for example. Everybody's going to sell wheat. So because everybody's selling wheat, there's going to be one solitary price for it. If you go above that price, you're not going to sell anything because the consumers are simply just going to go to another person. If you go below, despite the consumers coming to you, you're typically not going to make a profit. Alright, those are the different types of demand. So one last thing, let's see here. Let's go take a flashback to unit elastic goods. You remember these, right? How they're typically theoretical and would be a border between luxuries and necessities. Well, let's see here. The graph of a unit elastic good is actually not what you would expect, because it's not unit elastic, but it's elastic and inelastic. You see, in the top portion, the price changes vastly influence the quantity demanded. But as you go farther down the line, the price changes aren't going to impact the quantity demanded as much. So as a result, you've got a unit elastic graph. Technically, there's only one point on the graph where it's unit elastic, which would be that giant red dot in the center. That's where unit elasticity truly equals 1. Alright, that's elasticity of demand. The chart on the screen now shows how price changes impact total revenue. For an elastic good, you have to decrease price. See right here. For an elastic good, your price decreases are going to be what increase your total revenue. For an inelastic good, your price increases are going to be what increase your total revenue. For elastic goods, you have to have as many consumers as you can, and consumers are going to go to the lower price. For inelastic goods, consumers are going to buy it regardless, so you want to increase your price to get as much money out of them. Alright, thanks for watching and learning something new about economics. Leave a comment in the section below for another video, good things about the video, or anything you want to share about. Subscribe and or like with the button below. Hope to see you next time.